Everything that you're worried about is going to be gone like that. The people that are criticizing you, they're going to be gone. You're going to be gone. Worry and concern over how are people viewing me? Someone said something bad about me and you get so upset about it is wasted time and energy. Marcus Aurelius says your only focus should be on getting better at what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, get better at what you're doing. Everything else is a complete waste of time.
People think of anxiety as something inside their head. That's not right. You're anxious when everything around you is coming apart. The anxiety is a reflection of that. Now, you can find yourself in situations where your physiological state or your psychological state makes you overreact to uncertainty in the environment. Generally, for example, when someone develops major depressive disorder, it's in the aftermath of something truly awful.
Some things are up to us, some things are not up to us. It's as simple as that. Epictetus says our chief task in life is to discern what is up to us, what's not up to us, and then what? Focus entirely on what's up to you. That's what Stoicism is. Focusing on what's in your control, ignoring the rest. Does that mean you don't care about what's happening in the world? No, of course not. The Stoic doesn't despair that there are collective action problems. They just focus on what you can do about that problem instead of wasting time, energy, etc., bemoaning, wailing, trying impossible solutions. We focus on where we can make a difference. We focus on what we have power over, and that's where we put our time and energy.
If you do not have clear goals for your life, you are condemned forever to work for those who do. You see, in life, it's very simple. Either you are working toward the accomplishment of your goals, or you're working toward the accomplishment of other people's goals.
Most people walk around with no goals, no ambition. They don't know where they're going. It's like a ship with no destination. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. Once you know where you want to go, then you direct your time, your energy, and your attention to the execution and the achievement of that goal. If you want to make money, you will make money.
The latest research in neuroscience says you can change your brain just by thinking. So then as you begin to think about a new possibility, and your brain begins to fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, and you begin to plan your behaviors, and you begin to review in your mind, mentally rehearse who you're going to be in your life. The mere action of mental rehearsal begins to install the neurological circuits in your brain. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's in fact a map to the future. And over again, when people do this, it may take them months to turn their disease around. But over and over again, we've seen this. We've seen it enough times now to know that people reach a certain point with themselves where they feel so whole. They feel so satisfied with who they are. They feel so happy with themselves and their lives that they could care less if they have the disease. And that's the moment it goes away. And if you're not thinking about your back pain, you're not thinking about your problems, you're not thinking about your coworkers, you're not thinking about all the errands you need to run, you're not thinking about your cell phone, if you're no longer activating those circuits in your brain, as you suppress this neocortex, the memory bank of your identity, you move from beta brainwave patterns to alpha brainwave patterns. And as the brain starts to integrate, as the brain starts to become more coherent, and as the heart starts to resonate in more balance, all of a sudden now, your brain slows down into low alpha and ultimately into theta. And in theta, there's very little activity in your thinking brain. And in a sense, the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is wide open. And you are conscious in your subconscious mind. And in this realm, we call this the fourth dimension. Why? Because Einstein said E equals mc squared. When you take matter and you bring it up to the speed of light, it's going to turn into energy. So the ceiling of this three-dimensional reality is the speed of light. And when you become nobody, no one, no thing, no where, and no time, that's the moment you're no longer your body. That's the moment you're no longer your identity.